everybody, and welcome back to another Let's Trek Together video. In this video, we are going to talk about all the different hostels that we stayed at along the Appalachian Trail.
In this video, we're going to give you the most basic information about each hostel, as well as our own opinion and grade for each one. Before we jump into the video, we just want to say that this is not a comprehensive list. This is just the 13 hostels that we stayed at during our 2020 thru hike.
So if you don't see one of the hostels that you usually think of on the Appalachian Trail, that's because this year, due to the pandemic, some of the famous hostels were closed, so we weren't able to stay at every single one.
And also, we weren't stopping at every single one because a lot of them didn't line up with our Nero and Zeros, so if there's one that you're familiar with that didn't make the list, that's another reason why.
So this video is going to be a little bit on the longer side, so what we're going to do is in the description, we're going to timestamp the beginning of each discussion on a hostel. That way, if there's one you really want to know about, you can just click right to it.
So, let's just jump right in. The first hostel we are starting with is the first one that we stayed at on our thru hike, which is Laughing Heart Hostel, located in Hot Springs, North Carolina.
This hostel is located right on the entrance to Hot Springs, so you just pop out of the woods and there you are, so there's no need to get a shuttle to the hostel itself.
The bed accommodations are awesome. They do bunks, semi-private rooms, private rooms. We happened to stay in a private room when we were there, and it was just a room with a double bed, and it was $45 a night.
This hostel was rare in the sense that it had 3 bathrooms with 3 showers. This was amazing because almost all of us when we arrived were able to shower at the same exact time. Laughing Heart has 2 common areas. One of them is located in the bunk room with a TV and an old VCR set, and then the other one is this little kitchen right when you enter the place.
The aesthetic is awesome. It feels just like a comfortable southern home. It is perfect for the thru hiking community.
Everything in this town for your resupply and any gear that you need is in total walkable distance. So there was no need for a shuttle around the town, but I think they may offer it if you wanted to slack pack.
This was the most perfect first experience of a hostel on the Appalachian Trail, and thus we have no complaints about it, and we're gonna give it an A.
The next hostel that we stayed at was Uncle Johnny's in Erwin, Tennessee.
It is right off the trail, just like Laughing Heart Hostel, so the distance from trail is perfect. The bed accommodations are bunks, private rooms, and also cabins, and we ended up staying in a cabin.
So the private cabins that we stayed in had 2 rooms that were adjacent from each other. So Kyle and Corey stayed in one room and their door opened and we were in the room right next to them. They had bunk beds, a couch, a TV, and a mini fridge. They were super comfortable and we loved the aesthetic of them.
We ran into the fortune of having trail magic here in Erwin. We actually had our whole stay paid for by a wonderful trail angel named Blue Deer, so thank you, Blue Deer. So the price for us was good.
They have a separate bathroom that is just a big shower stall and bathroom place. It's not in wherever you're staying, so you do have to go outside to get to it, but it wasn't really that big of a deal.
The shower pressure was great, however, my hot shower only lasted like 4 minutes, so that's my only complaint with it.
So if you're zeroing and staying at Uncle Johnny's, your shuttle into town is included because there really isn't anything in walkable distance from this hostel. So the old owner's wife now does the shuttles for it. She was super kind and she dropped us down in downtown where we had a food city, Taco Bell, McDonald's, Dunkin', everything a thru hiker could need, and it was really convenient for us.
As for the aesthetic, it's another wonderful southern rustic feeling. It's right on the Nolichucky River, really, really beautiful. The only thing I have against it is that the rooms weren't the cleanest. They weren't dirty, but they weren't that clean either.
But you know, coming out of the woods, it was pretty clean compared to what we were looking like. So we are going to give this hostel an A-. Apart from the temperature of the water and a little bit of cleanliness, we love staying here and the people there are awesome.
The third hostel on our list is Black Bear Resort, located in Hampton, Tennessee.
This hostel, you actually had to walk about a half mile, I would say, to get to it, but you just come out of the woods and you take a road and you get right there.
It's a beautiful half-mile walk.
Gorgeous.
They have tent sites, bunk rooms, cottages, and cabins. They have literally anything. The property is gorgeous.
The bathrooms, again, at this hostel are in a separate building, so you do have to walk around the property a little bit, but it's well worth the walk because you're right on a river and it's just absolutely gorgeous.
We happened to stay in a cottage and it ran us at $100 a night, but there were 4 of us and there were 4 double beds, so it was $25 per person.
So even though this hostel we said was in Hampton, it's actually about 20 minutes outside of Hampton. We had the pleasure of Linda, the hostel owner, driving us literally all around the town. She was so kind. She made every stop from the dollar store to Subway to McDonald's, literally anything we could have needed. She was so kind to us and we love her.
They had a common area with a microwave and a TV and a refrigerator. It was a really, really beautiful place. The only gripe that I have about Black Bear Resort is that there is no Wi-Fi as well as no signal. So you are straight up in the wilderness.
So again, we are going to give this hostel an A- just because of the whole Wi-Fi thing, especially being YouTubers and wanting to upload videos. It was a little hard for us to do that, but we absolutely love this place and would love to go back and stay there again.
Love you, Linda and Travis.
The next hostel we stayed at was the Broken Fiddle in Damascus, Virginia.
This was a crazy awesome hostel. Definitely a party hostel, so if you're not a partier, this might not be the one for you, but it is located right in the downtown of Damascus.
They had camping outside, private rooms, and a bunkhouse that you could stay in.
They only had one bathroom. Luckily, it was the pandemic year, so there was only, I think, 10 of us staying, so it wasn't really an issue. But I can imagine it being a crazy issue when there's 30 or 40 people staying there.
The people running this hostel were awesome. Smokey and Treehouse made you feel like they were a part of your family when you got there, and they were super welcoming, and they also did our laundry for us. And they not only did our laundry, they folded it and then put it on our bunk where we were staying, and I love them. They were amazing.
I saw Smokey right next to my bunk, literally patting my clothes while he was placing it down. It was the cutest thing in the entire world.
They also had a kitchen where you could cook anything that you wanted and store anything you needed in their fridge or freezer.
They had an outdoor common area where they had recliners everywhere.
Yeah.
It was so comfy. It was so awesome. It was loud at night, but it was quiet in the actual house. So it was really nice for pretty much everyone.
So there really wasn't any shuttle necessary in this town because the hostel was located in downtown Damascus. So everything you needed was in walking distance. But they did offer slack packing. So for that, they would shuttle you and you would hike back to their hostel.
So for this, we're gonna give it a B+. For the partiers, it's gonna be even better than the prior 3. However, we believe that the prior 3 has better accommodations, thus we're giving it a B+. So for the 5th hostel on our list, we have another big party hostel, and that is Four Pines Hostel, located in Catawba, Virginia.
So this hostel basically saved our butts because we were in the rain for 5 days straight and really needed rescuing, and we didn't have service. So I sat in the shelter in this like one spot and just called and prayed, and finally my call went through and we were able to get rescued from this flooded parking lot. So thank you so much, Nature Boy, you saved our butts.
We spent 2 days seeking refuge in this garage while we waited out a tropical storm.
So like Dan said, you're basically in a giant car garage that they've built bunk beds into, and then there's a bunch of couches and recliners and one shower.
It feels like one big open studio. Their quiet hours say 11 p.m. and they try to do their best with quiet hours, but since it's a studio, you know, the beds are in the same spot as the common area. So if you're not into the party scene, this is probably not the hostel for you. Just like the Broken Fiddle, they only have one bathroom and shower. Again, luckily there was only, I think, 12 or 13 of us there at the time. But honestly, it was still an issue in the morning. We were all fighting over the bathroom, so I can't even imagine what it's like with an extra 10 people.
Nature Boy, who was running the hostel, would shuttle you anywhere that you needed to go, whether it was just to the local gas station to get food, or he would actually take you into town to get a resupply if you needed stuff from their outfitter.
The aesthetic of the garage was really rustic. It was pretty cool. A little bit dirty, but that's okay. I mean, what do you expect from a garage? The outside of it is located on a farm, and it is in the rolling hills of Virginia, and it was so beautiful, especially seeing it in the rain and seeing all the clouds and fog rolling over the hills. It was so beautiful. Thanks to Joe and Miss Donna, this hostel is a donation based, so give what you can. It is awesome. Give as much money as you can. They do this from the kindness of their own hearts. So with all of this said, we are going to be grading Four Pines with a B.
And the reason we're doing this is because there was a lack of privacy for if you even wanted it, and then also just because there was really no town to go to. The closest town was a half-hour away. So you really didn't have much to do while you were there, and then just the one bathroom.
The 6th and final hostel we have for you for this video is Mountain Home Bed and Breakfast, located in Front Royal, Virginia.
So fun fact about this bed and breakfast is that the owner is a pass-through hiker. He was doing his southbound, came out of the woods in Virginia, saw this place and bought it after he finished his thru hike. So it was really cool to hear his stories and his experience on the trail.
We got shuttled out of Shenandoah because we wanted to celebrate July 4th at a hostel, but this is located a quarter mile off the trail, so it is very close to the trail.
So it is more of a bed and breakfast than a hostel. I think they had a bunkhouse, but we didn't actually stay in it. We stayed in this one room that was super fancy, and I felt like I was getting everything dirty while we were in there.
In my opinion, it was a gorgeous place, although it didn't feel super hiker friendly because it felt more like a historical bed and breakfast, and like Molly said, it just felt like we didn't want to touch anything in there or we were gonna break everything.
Yeah. One of the awesome things about this bed and breakfast was that they served you a home-cooked breakfast in the morning. So we had like authentic home-cooked pancakes and fresh fruit and just wonderful stuff.
We had fresh pressed grape juice. It was amazing. It was amazing. The town of Front Royal is a beautiful city. Unfortunately, it was closed down when we were there because of the pandemic, but they shuttle you into town with your resupply, with any food that you need, with the outfitter, all for free. So that was really awesome.
So this stay costed each of us $35. That was for a shared room with 3 beds in it, and then also the breakfast and the shuttle in and out of town. That
was the most expensive hostel so far. However, honestly, the breakfast made it completely worth it.
So for this hostel, we are going to grade it a B+.
It was an amazing stay. Honestly, it should get into the A- category. The only reason we don't place it there is because it didn't feel super hiker friendly, so at least for a thru hiker, it wasn't the best hostel to stay at.
Definitely somewhere I would go vacation at though. So I think we're actually gonna end this video here. After looking at all the hostels, there were just too many to put into one video, so there is going to be a part 2 coming very soon. If you like this video and want to see part 2, make sure to like it and comment below so we know that you want to see this.
Make sure you guys subscribe to our channel. We are going to be doing more Appalachian Trail vlogs as well as now transitioning into our Korean vlogs. And as always guys, let's trek together.